Ashe thobela le gae education ke style, so re tlo approach ka style ha ona bothata through the mnemonics. So as part of the exam guidelines in grade 12, you are expected to know the negative feedback mechanisms of several or variety of hormones there. So for vandaag, we are going to focus on the thyroxine levels. So we have two cases of thyroxine levels. We can have a case whereby the thyroxine levels are high, and we can have a case where the thyroxine levels are low. When the thyroxine levels are high, this case is classified to be the hyperthyroidism. Hyper means too much. There is too much of thyroxine. And then here, lower levels of thyroxine. When you're talking about the hypo, we are talking about the low levels of thyroxine. Remember, thyroxine is responsible for controlling the metabolic rates in your body. So now for case number 1, to best interpret it, we are going to make use of the mnemonic PITSLED. This is PITSLED as written here. So the PI here is for pituitary gland, and then the T is for the thyroid stimulating hormone. This is the TSH. And then the S here is for the secretion, of course, by the thyroid gland. We are going to look at the secretion. And then the LED is for the conclusion. When you have too much of sugar in your tea, and that sugar was the last, you will definitely have to dilute it. Or looking at juice, when you have the undiluted juice, most definitely you'll have to dilute that juice so that you can have low concentration of that juice, because it was highly concentrated. So here we are going to say the thyroxine levels are expected to reduce. That's for a case when we have more thyroxine in your bloodstream. And then that's in secreting less, automatically the levels of thyroxine will reduce. So now we're gonna put this into writing. Now that you know what does the mnemonic, or how does this PITSLED thingy is arranged. Yeah, leleme, the tongue. I'll never tata again. So now we are going to say the pituitary gland, this one here, it will secrete the hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone. Remember, the thyroid stimulating hormone, this one, it is responsible for stimulating the thyroid gland. So this one will stimulate the thyroid gland, so that the thyroid gland secrete less of thyroxine. And in secreting less thyroxine, that the thyroxine level will decrease, and thus it will go back to equilibrium. It will go back to equilibrium, or its normal state. And then for case number 2, you avoid writing notes time and again and reading things time and again. As long as you understand this one, you just come here. What is the opposite of less? The opposite of less will be more. Then you come here, you write more. This is for case number 2, when we have low secretion of thyroxine. So you just come here, you substitute this one, less with more, and then you come here. What is the opposite of decrease? And thus you're going to have increase. And thus for case number 2, which is hypothyroidism, the pituitary gland will secrete the hormone TSH, which will stimulate the functioning of the thyroid gland, and thus the thyroid gland will secrete more. It will secrete more thyroxine, and thus the thyroxine levels will increase, and by increasing they will go back to their normal state. That's equilibrium. Otherwise, Danko, thank you very much. If on a topic you say understanding, just feel free to comment. Feel free to text me on 06147013000. Uskan to medicine wanako high, unongala message or request. And then for example, honore meiosis. And then waba specific meiosis. And then most definitely I'm gonna try to break it down for you so that it becomes simple. Stay tuned for more mnemonics, for more tools to help you memorize life sciences. It is possible. 90% is obtainable. From 10% to 90%, we are going to make those subtractions so that you pass life sciences. Naganjani, no matter what. Ereke claps, so subscribe mowe, o like, on commentele mowe, o share the video le bana ba bangwe. Botjang batswadi ba rekele bana data. Batswadi he lo le lebeletse, rekelang bana data. It is doable. We can tutor your learners online, of course. Danko.